Welcome everybody, jumping on to do a live Q&A about the guided self-pleasure experience. I'm going to have our next teacher jumping on live here soon. But until then, I'm going to answer some questions and just riff on things a bit myself. So once again, this is to answer questions, to have open discussion about the guided self-pleasure experience. If you haven't seen me post about this is an experience where I have guest teachers come in and they lead you into an experience of building arousal, building pleasure, and learning how to stay in your body and not obsessed in thoughts and in your mind. So most of us as men, we learned our masturbation habits in hiding, in secrecy, in the dark, behind closed doors. And so most men are carrying habits in their relationship to sexuality and pleasure and masturbation that are things that they learned when they were 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. Most adult males are still relating to pleasure from those things that they learned when they were really young. And the guided self-pleasure experience is about being guided into a new way of relating to your body in that way. So this is an open Q&A that you can bring your questions about the experience, or you can bring questions just about this topic to do with masturbation, with self-pleasure, and bringing in a meditation aspect. I'll tell you, I talk to men all over the world, and the predominant challenge that most men are facing is performance anxiety. And performance anxiety is, for the vast majority of it, a mental thing. And so that's something that we get to retrain when we go into experiences like this with the guided self-pleasure experience. And as I said, I'm going to have the next teacher coming on here live soon. But until then, I'm here to answer some questions with all y'all and dive into this a little bit. So what are your questions when it comes to masturbation, self-pleasure, and an experience like this where you have a teacher that's actually guiding you in the experience? Once again, what most men are navigating is habits and patterns in connection to masturbation that was formed when they were 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. Most adult men are still hiding their masturbation habits from their partners, acting like they're 12 years old and having to hide from mommy or daddy. This is insane. This is something that needs to change. We're not children, we're grown men. And this is a conversation that we need to learn not only to how to navigate, but how to lead. Particularly if we want to create a healthy relationship to self-pleasure, a healthy relationship to masturbation. And if you're catching this as a recording, as I said, I'm going to be popping in here with the next teacher, Aurelie, who is going to be leading us on Monday. Monday night, we'll be doing the next guided self-pleasure experience, and my hope is to bring in these different teachers that are leading you in these experiences to have a completely new relationship with yourself and with this practice. So I feel like the men that are following me to learn more about sexuality, to learn more about relationship, I think that in itself takes courage. But a subject like this, when it comes to talking about self-pleasure, masturbation, takes a whole other level of courage. And that's why I do these live Q&As, is to provide a little bit more information about what these experiences are like. Any questions, any topics that you want to talk about, just throw it down in the comment bar and we can dive in. Once again, this really being a subject of masturbation and self-pleasure. Man with hyperthyroid at 45, how much should I masturbate and how much release? I don't know anything about hyperthyroid. I don't have enough medical information about that to know. The one thing that I know, particularly about age and finding out how much you should be masturbating, the best thing is to become your own scientist. I like to call it become an erotic scientist. For me, I have a lot of resistance to semen retention. Semen retention is too scripted. Semen retention says when you're this age, you should masturbate this much, you should ejaculate this much. And we are all so different. There's so much difference between all of us and our bodies. So being 45, I would say you need to explore. And like I said, I don't know about hyperthyroid, but you got to explore for yourself. What is it like when you masturbate this many times per week, per month? And what is it like when you ejaculate this many times per week, per month? And that way you're going to get a number that works for you. You're going to find what works out for you. All right. I see we've got my guest that's going to pop on the live with me, and we'll jump into some questions. And here we go. Here about the upcoming experience, the guided self-pleasure experience. We're here to ask questions and open up conversation for those that are on the live now or those that come on the recording later.
Hello.
Hello.
Of course, a
Hello,
plane
hello,
is going by
hello.
as soon as I join.
I can't hear it.
Okay, good.
I can't hear the plane. Welcome.
Uh, Hi.
Please introduce yourself to the people.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Aurelie, and I am a sensual energy healer specializing in helping people reconnect to pleasure and bliss and remember that the love they are is actually their source of turn on
Woo!
pleasure, bliss, and ecstasy.
I love that. And, for everyone here, that's one of my greatest intentions of bringing in teachers from all over the world is to provide experiences where we as men can create a new relationship to self-pleasure and particularly moving from masturbation more into self-pleasure. And this is something that I've seen women really leading in, reclaiming their pleasure, particularly with themselves. And I also see this movement needed for men that we have to break through a lot of the habits around porn, around hiding and secrecy, and learn that there's so much pleasure to be found in our own bodies so that we stop outsourcing that in other places. So I love that that's part of your passion as well.
Yes, it's all within. So, where do you source your turn on from? Source it from source ultimately. And then you're not taking energy from your partner. And that also helps create, because a lot of codependency is I need this person to desire me. I need this person to give me an orgasm. I need. And that is not a sovereign, sexy relationship in my in my world.
Yeah, and that energy is not very arousing or opening or expansive. It's very graspy and very immature, childlike of needing a parent almost. And
Yeah.
I
And
think this is one
limits.
of the things that
It limits your
go ahead.
pleasure also, just like
Yeah.
bottom line. You think you're having great pleasure, but you're not. It's completely, all of that is limiting your pleasure.
And this is why I think it's so important for us as men to go on this journey that I think a lot of men have a very poor relationship to masturbation. It's very quick, it's secret, it's hiding, it's not talked about, it's in the dark, it's behind closed doors, it's watching these videos that maybe there's shame around, and there's just all this non-expansive feeling to it. And these events are so much about, okay, can I try something new? Can I step into a completely different way of relating with myself? And I love each teacher and what they bring because it's completely different. So every time a new teacher shows up, the men's experience is going to be different in how they're connecting with their body and how they're connecting to pleasure. So I'd love to hear from you, and you can share with the listeners or the watchers um, if this is something you've done before. Have you done it online before, and what are you wanting to lead the men into?
Yes. Well, first, I'm just very excited because I think the world just needs more men and women that are conscious and connected to pleasure in a responsible way that like actually supports love and peace on the planet. So I I would say a majority of my clients are men, but I do love working with women as well. And the root thing that I help most of my clients with is retraining them how to self pleasure, because that is the foundation to everything. I always say the best sex of your life starts with you. So, how you show up with you in self pleasure is how you are going to show up with a partner. And if you have trained yourself with porn or fantasies or even past memories, you are actually training yourself out of the present moment. And you're training yourself, especially if there's layers of shame mixed in there, which I've not yet met a man who has not had shame around around pleasure in general, and it almost always has started with masturbation, and that's where it was, whether they got caught as a child or their current partner shames them, which I see that a lot, which is wild. Or they have a secret because they're not turned on in other areas of their life. They get that satisfaction from watching porn, and yeah, and that's stress release, right? If you're using masturbation to release stress, well, then what do you think you're doing when you're having sex with someone? So, my
Mm,
passion is to help people rewire like their brain ultimately, because that is what you're doing when you train yourself through self pleasure. You're creating a new neural pathway of how you connect into bliss and how you embody it, and it's how you learn energy. And so you don't even have to be a great lover, because if you know energy, then you are a master lover. You don't have to
mm,
know great techniques, because you can be masterful when you follow energy. So for me, what I like teaching people is how to connect to energy. And that starts with your pleasure, with your bliss, with your ecstasy, and the love you are. So it's a combination of like spiritual and opening up to new ideas and new concepts around how you relate to pleasure. And then there's the practical, like when a fantasy comes in, how do you pivot your mind? What do you focus on instead?
mm,
Or when you want to reach for porn, like what do you do instead? And that's what I really love helping people with. And once you have an experience of pleasure from a heightened state of awareness, from actually being conscious, not just doing it automatically, where it's this habit, right? Like you on your lunch break, you're just like, oh, I have all this excess energy, I need to release it, which is also where a lot of people masturbate from. What if you didn't need to release it? What if you were meant to be these beings connected fully to source frequency and source energy, and it is infinite?
mm.
So I could go on and on about
Yeah,
why I'm so passionate about this, but
yeah.
self pleasure personally was where I retrained myself how to love myself. And
Mm,
it helped me embody a lot of like the woo woo spiritual concepts that I hadn't actually, I'd heard about, I'd learned about, but I didn't actually live them. And they're all the same thing. It's be present and choose love. But how do you do that? Well, self pleasure is a way that you can train yourself and actually feel different.
mm. And for everyone listening and wanting to know about this event, one of the things that's been important for me is as men, what we hear the most is what not to do. That's what we've been bombarded with our whole lives. Don't do it this way. This way is wrong. This way is bad. Don't do it this. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, and that's all we've been given is the things that we shouldn't do. And what the guided self pleasure experience is about is okay, well, how can I have an idea of what to do? What can I point myself in the direction of practicing, of bringing in, of including in my practices, and why? Why do I want to be more present? Why do I want to be out of my thoughts less? Why do I want to have an understanding of my nervous system? Like all of these things are in the direction of what we can do and want to do instead of what we've been hit across the face all our lives of don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, and don't do it
Yeah.
that way. Oh, and you can't do it that way.
Yeah. And you don't have to wait for something to be wrong either to like course correct. Because I think so many men just go along doing stuff automatically because they don't know another way, because there hasn't been another way, which this is why this is such a powerful offering that you've created, because it offers that other way. And when you don't, and I lost my train of thought on that one, but like I was, I was like, where was I going with that?
So for everyone, we will be doing the event on Monday, this coming Monday, and it's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific. And just so you know, it's going to be a webinar format. So you'll just be seeing me at the beginning and Aurelie at the beginning. Together, we'll be both talking, and then I'll leave at a certain point, and she'll just be guiding you and teaching you. Everyone else will have their cameras locked, their audio locked. So you'll just be seeing her video be pinned, taking you through the whole experience, and and then we'll have space to digest or talk on the other side of it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to either of us and just say, hey, I want to know more about the guided self-pleasure experience. I've got a little bit of information in my story as well, and I can share a link with you for the event. But it's going to be on Monday. I'll probably be sharing some more things and chop this up into some clips and share more of it. But I just wanted to give space for both of us to share why we're doing this and for you all to get more information about it. So,
Yeah.
anything else you want to share before we get off here?
Well, also just that it's going to be recorded. So if you can't make it live, sign up anyway, because my intention with what I'm going to lead you through, it's going to be an activation, it's going to be a meditation, it's going to be a practice that you can just keep listening to every time you want to self-pleasure. It's like a guided meditation into self-pleasure. And the last thing I want to add is self-pleasure isn't always about orgasm. It's not even always about touching your genitals. It's an opportunity to relearn how to connect to your body. What's your unique way to connect? And most people haven't asked themselves that, right? Because we just do what everyone else does. So, this is an opportunity to just discover you and
Mm,
get to know you and what lights you up from the inside, not based on stimulation
mm,
externally.
yes, thank you so much. That was perfect. Um, yeah, I'll just piggyback that this is an important exploration for us to learn how to relate with pleasure, not just to go into pleasure and release, which is often soothing or a patterned behavior because we're just wanting to get that release to not feel something or to feel something. So this practice is longer in time on purpose so that it's not a quick experience, and the exploration of pleasure doesn't mean just touching your genitals. And that's what, as men, most of us have been taught, is just to go straight to our genitals, get aroused and finish. And this is why so many men are struggling with performance anxiety or not lasting as long as they want or not being present, because we haven't trained to just be with pleasure or without the finish. So
Yeah.
uh, that's important.
And the bonus is if you are wanting to open up to multi orgasmic experiences, this is where you start. I know what men are
Exactly.
motivated by, so I'm happy to.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
After working with so many, it's like you find creative ways, but it's okay to be excited that you actually can be multi-orgasmic. And how you start is through the slow, intentional, present way.
Mm, mm. Thank you so much for coming on here and sharing with us. And I look
Yeah,
forward to diving in with you on Monday. And as I said, everyone, just reach out to either of us and ask us about the guided self pleasure experience, and we'll share more about it. Have a wonderful day.
I'm so
Talk to you soon.
excited. Bye.
Bye.